Okay, how's it going, y'all? So we're gonna do a little video today. Coming back from the holidays, didn't get to do much, but I want to do a little video on another project I'm working on for Pazuzu Press. A little something called Not So Random Encounters. The idea of this is basically that to make some sort of preset random encounters that aren't really random, right? You kind of roll and then you have a preset little very miniature, not like a miniature adventure, but just like a miniature preset encounter set for a variety of creatures. And I wanted to do this because it's easy to make short little videos, and you can feel free to steal these. I will compile them and offer them in a PDF for sale on drivethrurpg, which I will eventually link to along with our other stuff. But for now, I'll be doing this as a series where I just kind of give you a quick little encounter that you could use instead of a random encounter. And the idea, to give you some background on how I the philosophy behind some of these is that I tend to use a lot of in my own games, like misdirection, right? You don't really know. I tweak a lot of monsters, and so you're not really sure what's happening all the time, right? You know, if it's a displacer beast, well, it's going to have like a couple extra tentacles and maybe look a little different, and it's going to be attacking in the fog to add some mystery, so you don't know exactly what's coming up. So I always throw in sort of little loophole, or not loopholes, like a monkey wrench into everything, right? And so for this one, I was going to do the Beholder. Reason being that I can't put the Beholder in a published thing because it's copyright, right? It's a D&D thing, so I'm not real sure on the legality of selling an encounter with mentioning a Beholder, so I'll just do it for free on a video to give you an idea. All right, and so this is a potentially random encounter you could have for your party featuring a Beholder, and I'll show you the kind of the write-up I did for it as well. Right, so basically you have a Beholder. This can be any location, so long as you have some obstacles to sight, some trees, maybe it's darkness can work, as long as you can add some mystery where you can't just see what's going on, right? You don't want to be in a flat plain grasslands, right? Now the setup is basically that the party's coming down the road and they encounter a couple of broken down wagons, right? And what they see is that one of the wagons is basically a cage that's busted open, right? It's been just sort of ripped open. There's a bunch of dead guards laying around. One of the dead guards is covered in caterpillars. Another dead guard is just levitating in midair, covered in kind of burn marks. There are raw, uncooked whole chickens laying around the wagon. There's another guard who's trying to calm a horse who's frantically neighing, and that horse is bright orange with purple polka dots, right? And as the party sort of pulls up, they hear explosions kind of off to the side of the road. The guard seems, the one living guard there seems kind of freaked out. He's looking around nervously. He's looking at you like, okay, he doesn't want to answer any questions. And as you approach to say, hey, what's going on? A young woman in a robe runs in from the woods looking very disheveled. She goes into the wagon and she comes out with like a wand, and she kind of doesn't even notice the party, right? And at this point, if the party engages the woman, she results in being an apprentice to a wizard who can have whatever name you want. I gave him the name Hagor. Her name is Mina. She's an assistant to a wizard. And she kind of explains that we have these experiments, and one of them got out, and we're trying to get it back in. All right. And so you don't really tell them. She doesn't really divulge what it is, but she does offer, say, hey, if you help us out, you seem like capable folks, help us out, and I guarantee you we'll get you a reward. Right. And so that sets up the encounter. And the encounter is basically that, and you can have Hagor be there or not, but the wizard is there off in the woods trying to fight this Beholder. He's having trouble because he's a wizard, and the Beholder, and this is an aberrant Beholder, is using its anti-magic ray on him, right? So he needs some assistance. This Beholder is an experiment, so it is completely insane. just kind of completely nuts. And to add a little twist to it, the beholder's eye rays are sort of panoply of silly things, right? It is an experimental beholder, and thus its eye rays have been sort of adjusted to be somewhat less lethal. And here's, I made a potential list for what the rays on the beholder would do, and it would have, 1 through 10. I'll read them. A confusion ray as the spell, an obscenity ray, where the target will just scream obscenities for a day. A caterpillar ray, where the target is covered in caterpillars. A lightning ray, just basically like lightning bolt. A color ray, which colors whatever it hits, whatever target hits gets turned orange with purple polka dots. A levitation ray, which floats things up into the air. A farting ray, whatever the unfortunate target of this ray will fart for 24 hours. A chicken ray, which just fires chickens at people, like plucked raw chickens at them for a couple of points of bludgeoning damage, because that's hilarious. A searing light ray is the spell, and an enlarge ray, the target will be enlarged to 2 times its normal size. And so you fight this thing. It seems like a random encounter. It feels kind of random and nice, but it can potentially be more, right? You successfully either capture it or get it killed, depending on what you want as the DM to happen. Maybe there's a bonus if they capture it rather than kill it, and Mina will offer a reward, maybe a magic item, maybe something, and that can be the end of it right there. Or you could potentially have it be a plot hook. Maybe they're on their way to a city, and Hagor lives in that city. Mina is an apprentice in that city, so maybe he says, "You seem like a capable bunch. Maybe if I need your services, I'll send some work your way if you're going to town." Maybe Mina becomes a useful contact in that city of the goings on of the powerful wizards, powerful politicians, whatever. Maybe this is just a peek that there are some very potentially lethal and illegal, dangerous experiments going on in the city. And this is sort of a peek into that world. So these are just kind of 3 potential plot hooks that you could use. And this is basically the character of these not so random encounters. And I was probably going to get to where there's about 20 of them before I make a PDF and have my partner Paul do the graphics for it. And by the way, Paul does a great job on graphics if y'all haven't bought one yet. But it would be at least 10, maybe as high as 20 encounters, and we'll keep doing like part 1, part 2, and then maybe enough to offer like a companion. But basically it's a very short 2-page write-up, maybe 3, on this what could potentially be a random encounter. Certainly more fun than just saying, okay, you see a beholder in the middle of the road, right? And if you've got a couple of these, you can roll it up if you want, right? And so it seems random, but not so random, right? Hence, not so random encounters, right? Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be making this as a series. All of these are free. Feel free to steal any of these ideas, but also feel free to, buy some of our stuff. We definitely dig that. And that will conclude it. I hope y'all had a great holiday, and I will see y'all around. Take it easy, y'all. And by the way, if you're ever wondering, kind of off topic, but Johnny Walker Blue is pretty damn good. I don't know if it's worth $200 a bottle, but it's pretty damn good. Laters.